Hey everyone, it's Kaifu here with Game 2 in the series between Carn and David, with Carn on the left side playing Mikage, while on the right side we have David playing Fiethsing. So this will be a Mikage Fiethsing matchup. Mikage, as I mentioned in Game 1, is a very heavy control based type of deck, using a lot of hand destruction, using a lot of one removal, keep the opponent in check, not allowing him to go all crazy shenanigans from there. While on the right side we do have David playing Fiethsing Turbo, so using a lot of combo orientated cards such as Familiar Holy Wind, Regalias. Most common build you will see lately would be the Gwiber version, but looks like David isn't playing that Gwiber version, allowing use like using Rook Egg, Adam Broly and so on. He's actually using the standard green version, which allows him to play Thomas and so on, allowing him to drop the Gwiber a bit faster, allowing him putting a lot of pressure on the board. So let's get back to the game itself. Currently life point wise 4,000 compared to 4,000. I believe Carn in the early game intends to play the Death side, but however I got Whirlwind right away because David often goes second in this matchup, even he had the option to go first. He chose to go second because he has the option to get turn 1 Whirlwind perhaps, but other than that he did try turn 1 Whirlwind, but however Carn did have another Regal in hand, so preventing it from happening in the first place. At the moment, what can Carn do at the moment? He can play very interactively, saying that, well, my opponent has a lot of way to drop Gwibers, so I can just play a lot of open magic stone, and if he plays anything I can just use Mikage's effect to pop the token away but not allow him to do anything. And putting a card in the standby area right now, and in comes the bow, attempting to pop it right away. So killing the Reza, ooh, that's not quite good for Carn at the moment. He should have kept the card in hand. Perhaps he forgot about the bow. It has the second option to pop a card in the standby area, perhaps. At the moment, David is attempting to dig through his deck a bit faster than his opponent, putting himself in a lot or in a better state in a way. Putting himself in a better position because he knows that for the fact that my opponent can't do much now. I gotta drop a lot of Gwibers and so on. He has bows, but however I have the field present, I have the tokens. Again, I'm surprised that I'm really surprised that Carn didn't actually pop the token before the Sacred Elf result, because Sacred Elf will be the second card that David played this turn. So obviously Fiethsing will automatic trigger, and obviously Carn does have one open magic stone using Mikage's effect to pop off the token to not allowing the Gwiber to hit the condition, or forcing David to play another card on the field, reducing his field cards in hand, so he has more field control from 1-for-1 such as time, space and so on. Currently life point wise 3,900 compared to 4,000 life point, so not much has happened at the moment. And in comes the time space targeting the Gwiber, but I'm not sure what he can do. So he actually can prevent that from happening using the field edition, which is Windscarf Refresh, preventing it from happening, and using the time space once more, getting rid of the Melfi, not Melfi, Sacred Elf. So he wants to draw power and so on, but I'm not sure about that play. What I would done if I was Carn is that I'll leave my magic stone open, so obviously that when the Gwiber does attack I can double bow it, and when you double bow it then you can time space of removing it, -5/-5, and then 400 damage for each bow, so that's 800. That's more than enough to take down the Gwiber, and you draw two, and you draw a card as well. So I will save those open resource open to get rid of the Gwiber, because Gwiber is a big problem at the moment, because Carn doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. Not only that, he's completely tapped out, put himself very vulnerable to get attacked. So now again we're going to the mid game now, so both players 4 magic stone, and that blank card is actually green basic magic stone from what David was told me. He just said that to me he didn't have enough time to get a green basic stone, so he gonna use a blank stone instead, so which is okay. It's just a casual match, so it's okay. Attacking direct with both tokens, putting Carn down to 3,700 life point, trying to bait out the tokens, but obviously bait out the counters from the bows, but obviously Carn didn't do that and took a whopping 1,200 damage from the Gwiber. But however, by reducing his life very low, he can meet the Reza and Melda combination, putting himself in a strong position to lower down the Gwiber attack and obviously kill it with a bow. But it also prevents Carn to like maintain the life point to his favor, because by doing that is really hard, and dropping more Regallons on the battlefield. But obviously David said, well, when you play the Leviathan, I'm going to cancel with Silver and Light, not allowing you have the option to J activate and do a lot of combo wombo. And at the moment, looks like Carn's thinking about deciding to J activate or not, but he goes against it by the looks of it, because he said, you know what, I'd rather have more resource. I can get rid of your tokens really easily with the Mikage's effect, popping all your tokens away, so I don't need to worry about it too much. And plus, I could potentially have a Demon Flame hand. And using Mikage's effect, popping down the tokens, not allowing David to have any field presence, do any more damage, or using for all sorts of resource for like for Adam Brawley, or even whenever if he plays those. So let's see now. But he does have free open resource. That means that he can actually use he can use the Hydromonica to search for any key cards he needs. But at the moment, David said, you know what, I'm going to apply the early game pressure, do enough damage on board to the point that your Reza are completely useless to you. So I think that's his plan at the moment. Again, using the Whisper to attempt to draw more cards and allowing him to put himself in a stronger position, because he knows for the fact that he can't really do much against it once you get to the late game, because the late game mostly favor the control once they have enough resource and cards in hand. And obviously in comes the water transformation, no, not water transformation, in comes the time space. However, in comes the Silver and Light preventing from happening, and obviously Carn has to take another 1200 to the face. But however, the good thing is that Carn is forcing out the cancel spells and not allowing David to have any more protection spells. And I believe here this is where the misplay kicks in, that I don't know if it's relevant or not. It could be relevant very competitively, because once you did an illegal play, which he just did, because he did it before the recover phase, and I believe he thought, I'm assuming he thought that Nameless Mist was an instant speed, but it's not an instant speed, it's a chat speed, so meaning that he has to do in the main phase. So he did a little misplay there, or an illegal play. So if this was a high level tournament, obviously if the judge sees that, you cannot make that play. And not only that, if you process the game to the point that both player didn't notice, both player will get a warning for that. So hopefully both players will take a notice of that, because I'm surprised that David, which is the opponent, didn't even notice that it was not an instant speed as well. So it shows that both players are not paying enough attention to their cards or opponent's cards at all. Currently life point wise 1300 compared to 4000 life point. Field wise, double bow, Hydromonica, Death Sight, a card face down the standby area, and Mikage on the board, compared to one Gwiber, one bow with no counter, one Fiethsing, one Sacred Elf, and the other one, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. The other elf has a barrier from darkness, and in comes the Ox doing a evolution attack effect, so pretty much pumping to do enough damage directly to Mikage to kill it, which is an interesting tech, but it's a very late game card, to be honest. So in comes the blood count effect, so using the effect to pump itself to obviously get rid of the Ox, because the Ox obviously deals damage to each other by using the enter effect and also the awake and evolution. I can't speak there. And evolution effect. So obviously trying to get rid of the Mikage. So you know what? I have impressionable. I'm going to tap down my Death Sight, increase the attack stat and defense stat, killing your Ox, so I take less damage in general. So let's see. Attacking directly for 1200, but in comes the Melder -4/-4, and I believe this is where it becomes relevant, because if obviously if Carn didn't use that Nameless Mist in the before recover phase, David would have a card in his hand and bluffing the fact that he could have a cancel spell, and obviously that Melder might not resolve if he figured that way. But the Melder able to -4/-4 onto the Gwiber and double bow directly to the Gwiber, killing it. One of the biggest threat that David has at the moment, making the favor could turn around to Carn's favor now, because Carn has a lot of ways to do a lot of battle damage on the field, and he used 2 of his open magic resource to do blood damage or gain more blood counts on his Mikage, doing damage directly to the Sacred Elf, which I guess is an okay play, but to be honest, I'd rather have open resource to block for the fact that my hand could be a time space, my hand could have another water transformation, or my hand could be another interactive card to the point that you can't do much. That's what I would do, or leave 2 open resources so I can sacrifice the Hydromonica and search for a card at top of the deck. On the top of the deck, so it allows me to apply the early game pressure, or not early game pressure, apply the pressure to the opponent, saying that, well, I'm going to search for my key card to put myself in the strongest position ever, like for example another water transformation, or anything in general he needs, or hand destruction, or whatever he needs. But currently, David's in a weird situation, that to the point that he had the early game advantage, but now he doesn't have the Gwiber. He only has a Sacred Elf and the other elf, which I can't remember off my head, to be honest, guys. And not only that, the other elf doesn't really do much because it only has Barrier from Darkness. That's about it. Again, trying to kill the Melter, and let's see. Obviously, the Ox is trying to attempt to kill the Melter, because Melter is the biggest threat at the moment from my point of view. But I don't think it is the biggest threat, but well, I guess that's how it works. But then, Carn actually used the blood counter to reduce the attack point stats on the Ox, making it a 10-10, so killing each other off instead of like doing a +1 on David's side. So let's see now. Currently, life point wise 1,300 compared to 4,000 life points. Using left side tapping for +2/+2 onto the Mikage. So let's see. I believe he did that at the end of the recover phase. I'm not too sure because it's tapped out, so I'm assuming it's in the main phase now. So I'm not too sure, to be honest. So there's a lot of plays it's illegal, but I guess it's okay. It doesn't matter too much. It's a casual game. In comes the Lightning Strike, getting rid of the Sacred Elf, surprisingly. What I would have done, I would save the Lightning Strike in my hand, just in case my opponent has the cards he needs to do the Gwiber play again. At least you have the interaction to Lightning Strike the perhaps the Sacred Elf or the token even, to get rid of that option for your opponent to drop the Gwiber with less resource. So let's see now. Life point wise 1,300 compared to 2,900 life point. Field wise we have 1 bow and 1 elf resonator, which I can't remember top of my head, compared to 2 bows, 1 Hydromonica, 1 depth side, 1 Carn in standby area, and 1 Mikage, with 0 blood counters. So now David's in, like I said before, he's in a weird situation now. He has to face against the Mikage, which has imperishable unless he draws depth side and kills the Mikage. The Mikage is a big problem for David, because he will keep coming back no matter how much time you kill the Mikage, because Mikage has imperishable. Attempt to attack directly, and in comes the Riza from the standby area, so paying 1,000 life point, which does put him down to 300 left, which is very low. So all David has to do is just do 300 damage, or even drain his opponent for 300 life point to put himself in the winning position. In comes the Riza, allowing him to get a blocker or get an extra card. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he got blocked with the Riza. If not, then I'll be very surprised. So let's see. He's seeing what he can do at the moment. He could put that card face down in the standby area, and let's see. He actually got a double bowler, which is surprising to me, because what he could have done is just block with the Riza, and obviously 8-8 compared to a, I believe 6-8 or 7-8 even. Quote me if I'm wrong, but it shouldn't matter too much, but I could be dead wrong as well at the same time. So yeah. Cracking the Hydromonica using 2 resources. I know he tapped for 1, but however he had 2 open resources anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much. But then again, in a competitive play, you have to tap down your both of your resources to get the Hydromonica search. But again, casual match, don't worry about it too much. So let's see. He actually searching for a card, but I'm not sure what he could search into. Perhaps Bear transformation, turn to a 4/4 bear, and then put the Mikage up and killing it, or that could be another card, I don't know. So putting on top of the deck and drawing into it, and go back to the recover phase. So let's see what can Carn do now in this current situation. Playing 2 card face down, playing 2 resource, put a card face down in the standby area, flipping the Mikage, no, flipping both Melters, killing off the Gwiber, leaving less threat for or less field present for David. So now the field control is back to Carn's favor with the Riza and 2 Melders, so applying a lot of field present and directly for 800 as well, putting down to 1000 life point. So David now is in a top deck situation. He has no cards in hand, he has nothing on the battlefield, he can't really do much against that, and plus his opponent has a lot of big resonate, and by looks of it, that's the game, guys. Thank you for watching, thank you guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time, peace.